Hi everyone, welcome to a new yoga therapy class. In this class, we're gonna do some work on our balance. When you're ready, grab your mat and let's begin. And before we begin, guys, please like, subscribe, and share this video with other people that might benefit and like this kind of content. Thank you so much, I appreciate it. Let's start by because we're gonna balance on our hands and on our feet, let's start just warming up the wrist and warming up the ankles a little bit. So come onto your hands and knees into cat pose, and you're gonna bring your fingers so they're pointing out to the sides. And we're just gonna shift our weight from side to side. Shifting from one side to the other. You can start by moving slowly, but as your wrists warm up, trying to shift your whole weight from one hand to the other. And then make circles around the wrist, little circles. And of course, as the wrists are a bit cold, you can start with small circles, and as they warm up, you go wider. Circle around wider. And then circle the other way. And then flip the hands so the fingers are pointing back. And we just sit back a bit, breathing out. Go forward, breathe in, sit back. Do that a few more times. And if you were already warm up, if you had already done some kind of practice and your wrists and your ankles are warm, you can skip that first part of the video. You can go straight to the balancing exercises. But this is a good way to prevent any injuries and actually to do the poses better. Okay, flip the hands and you're gonna go on your toes and we're gonna sit back and trying to get all your toes tucked under. Now, if that's too much on your hips or on your knees or even on the feet, you can put a block or a couple pillows, couple blocks between your bum and your heels. You're just going to try and stay there for another 30 seconds. Try and keep your shoulders relaxed. Beautiful. And the goal is actually to be able to sit like that for a minute or two without having to come out of it because it's too much pain, yeah? So if you can only stay for 10 seconds, slowly work your way up to a minute, yeah? You can come in and out of it, but work your way up to a full minute. Okay, let's work the front of the feet now a little bit. So you're gonna be in cat pose and we're gonna just lift the knees off the ground. And you hold, count to 3, and then come back down. If that's too much, you can do one knee at a time. Yeah, we lift one knee at a time. But otherwise, both, and down. Again, lift, and again. So that's the second variation, yeah? The easiest variation is to just lift one knee, keep the other one on the floor, and press into the foot on the side that the knee is lifting, yeah? The second one is the one we just did, when you lift both knees, and the third one, if you want to try, you lift one foot up, and then come back down. Lift both knees, lift the other foot up, and come back down. Let's do one more on each side. Lift, both knees up, right foot up, and down. Lift, both knees up, left foot up, and down. That's also working the wrist. All right, roll the shoulders, big circles, and roll forward. So all the poses we're going to do today is always going to have some kind of balancing aspect to it, and I'm going to try to challenge your balance, whether it's a standing pose, whether it's a down dog, or even a cat pose where we're going to lift one arm and one leg. Okay, so they're working the body in different ways, but they're always going to challenge your balance. Yeah, that's the theme of this class, to improve your balance. And the only way you can improve your balance is just to get out of your head, yeah? Bring your awareness lower down into your body. Bring your mind lower down into your core, into your feet. So when you're in a standing pose, if you're in your head thinking a lot, you're not gonna be aware of what's happening in your feet, because that's where your balance comes from. That's where the adjustments happen, yeah? So we're going to try to work on all these different aspects and target it from different angles. So let's start in cat pose. And what we're going to do is take the right leg back and the left arm forward. And we hold here. So focus on your core. Try not to let the belly drop. Keep the core engaged. Lengthening the arm, lengthening the leg. Don't need to look up. Keep your neck in line with the rest of the spine. Keep pressing into that hand that's on the ground. Just 2 more breaths. And come back down and switch. Left leg back, right arm forward. Trying to lengthen the arm and the leg away from each other. Core engaged. Keep the core engaged, don't let the lower back dip. Don't let the lower back collapse. Don't let the chest collapse. Okay, come back down. And now we're going to take the right leg back and the right arm up and forward. And then we're going to take them both across to the left. Keep reaching, keep lengthening both the arm and the leg. Up and over, and then back and down, and switch. Left leg back, left arm forward, reach up and over. Keep opening, lengthening. And back. Now, one side might be a bit tighter, or maybe one side you felt a little bit more wobbly. So go back to that side. We'll just do the one side one more time, just to balance the left and right side of the body. And take the arm and the leg up and over. Keep reaching up and over. And back. Beautiful. Sitting back on our toes again, sitting on the heels. So any exercise that feels really challenging, feel free to be close to the wall or to be next to a chair or have some blocks next to you that you can use to make it a little bit easier to start with. And once you get comfortable, you can drop all of these props and do it without anything. So the next one, we're gonna get the feet, the ankles, and the core involved all at once. So we're trying to lean back, lift the knees, and then drop and back. So trying to drop, touch, and lift back. Touch, and lift without falling back, careful. Touch, and lift. And do 2 more. Touch, back, touch, and lift. Good. Drop into your squat if you can. If you can't and you need to have something underneath your bum or the heels up, that's fine too. And we're just holding the squat. Okay, so your feet are slightly apart. are a little bit more challenging. Again, if you need to use a block or two, you're gonna have one block on each side, but otherwise do it without the blocks. We straighten, we take one leg forward, balance on one foot, and then bring it back. Take the other leg forward and back. We go like this, 3 more on each leg. Straighten and bring it back. Straighten and bring it back. Arms are forward. Try not to tense your shoulders, but you can use the arms to balance, yeah? Straighten and back. Straighten and back. Last one. Straighten and back. Beautiful. Come into down dog. So, one way to make down dog a little bit more of a balancing challenge, balancing exercise, is obviously to get some limbs off the ground. So what we're gonna do to start is you're gonna take your right leg back and up. And then if you can, you're gonna lift the palm, the left palm off the ground and stay on your fingertips. Just use your fingertips to balance. And maybe you can take most fingers off the ground. Maybe you have just 2 fingers on the ground. Maybe you can take the whole hand off the ground. Maybe you can take the left arm back, pointing back, same direction as your right leg. Stay there, use your core. Let the body adjust. Constantly your body is adjusting and balancing. That's what you want. Don't fall, don't give up as soon as you feel a bit wobbly, trying to save it, trying to keep the pose going. Okay, bring your left hand down, bring your right leg down, and then left leg goes up, nice and high. If it's not that high, that's fine. But trying to really lengthen that leg back, and then lift your right palm off the ground, go on your fingertips. Maybe you can lift 3 fingers, maybe all the fingers. Maybe you can take your right arm back and up behind you and hold. Keep pressing the ground away with your left hand. Keep breathing. If you feel a bit wobbly and if you fall off, that's fine. Just get back into it. Good, come back down. And you're gonna walk your feet forward to your hands. And maybe you need to bend the legs a bit, maybe the legs are straight. And you're just gonna grab opposite elbows and you're gonna relax the head down and hold this pose. Heads relaxed, shoulders relaxed, arms relaxed. Okay, you're gonna slowly roll up. Keep the head relaxed. Head is the last thing to come up. And we're up. Okay, now we're gonna do a few poses standing, okay, which is a real challenge for a lot of people. And that's fine. The only way you get better at it is by practicing. Practice the things you suck at. And that's the best way to improve. If you just practice the things you're good at, you won't get a lot of benefit, yeah? So always trying to, if you're not good at standing poses, balancing poses, practice that, and then slowly, slowly you'll improve. So the very basic one we can do is tree pose. And there's different levels to it. First level is the foot is cupping the ankle. Second is the foot is cupping the knee. And the third is you're trying to bring the foot as high up, ideally up into the groin, cupping the inside of the thigh, pressing the foot into the inside leg. Bring your hands into prayer in front of you and trying to lift the elbows so they're in line, same height as your shoulders. Press the hands together, especially the middle fingers. Shoulders relaxed. Chest is expanding. Now again, if you need to be close to a wall, next to a chair, that's fine as well. And if you pay attention to my foot, my ankle, it's constantly adjusting, it's constantly moving, yeah? You see my upper body is really not moving much. And if it is moving, it's because my ankle is not picking up on the adjustments necessary. If you want to make this a little bit more challenging, if you can hold this pose without any issues, what you can do is stare at your fingertips. So your fingertips are just in front of you, and just changing where you're looking at will really challenge your balance. Another thing you can do is move the bent knee back to open your hip, and at the same time push your hips forward. All right, so that's about a minute. If you stay long enough in a simple pose like tree pose, you'll feel that your standing foot gets really worked up. The foot, the muscles in the foot and the ankle, yeah, you feel it's actually getting sore because it's constantly working and gripping. Yeah, that's only gonna happen if you stay in the pose and if you really work at it. If you don't, if you fall every 2 seconds, you might not get that sensation. So that's just something you look for, yeah, when you're in these poses. Let's do the other side. And of course, most people will have one side that's more wobbly, more unstable, because you're just simply more connected to one side of your body. So what you're gonna do, you're gonna do the second side, and once we're done with the second side, you can pause the video and repeat your weak side, your more wobbly side. If you don't really feel a big difference, then just keep going with the class. So pressing the hands together, elbows at shoulder height, mind into the foot you're standing on, into the big toe, pressing the big toe down, pushing the bent knee back and the hips forward. Shoulders relaxed, chest is expanding, tall spine. If you can change your gaze, look at your fingertips. Okay, come out of it, shake out the legs a little bit. So if you're really constantly falling in and out of the pose, don't get frustrated, get back into it. If you get frustrated, you'll actually fall a lot faster, yeah? If you get impatient, but if you calm yourself down, if you breathe, if you focus on your foot you're standing on, you'll actually smash it. One straight hold the whole time. Yeah, it's just your focus. This is not about flexibility or strength or stamina. It's just where your mind is at. That's all. Yeah, which is why it's a great pose to practice anywhere you're at. You can be at the desk, you can be practicing tree pose. Doesn't need to. You don't need to warm up. Yeah, you don't really need to warm up for that one. For a lot of other poses, it's better to warm up. But this, you're just standing. But you're just standing on one leg. Yeah. Okay, we're going to do a different variation of tree pose where we bring the foot into half lotus. So the foot goes up onto the opposite thigh, opposite hip. Try your best, yeah, if your foot is a bit lower down or if it's slipping, you might need to keep hold of that foot. But if you can, try not to let go. Try not to have your hands in prayer again. You can stay there, yeah, and if you stay there, focus on pressing your hips forward and pushing the bent knee down. But I'm going to challenge you to another pose where we slowly bend forward. And try not to use the hands. Beautiful. Trying to slowly get back up. Very challenging, I know, but just go as far as you can, yeah? And if being in that first tree pose is challenging, that's where you're staying. Okay, now try a different one where you're gonna slowly bend the leg, bend the standing leg, and then come back. Again, bending. And you can see that it's challenging for me too. We gotta constantly be paying attention to the foot we're standing on, to how the weight is distributed. All right, that's 3. That's good. Let it go. Straighten that leg. Give it a little shake. And bring it down. Okay, so normally the foot you were standing on just then is sore, yeah? Because we've been up for more than a minute. So it's been working for a minute, carrying the whole weight of your body. So it should be sore. It's sore for me. I can feel it. It's been worked. Let's try the second side. Grab the foot, bring it up, bring it as high up onto the thigh as possible. If you can let go of the foot, great. But if you've got slippery piece of clothing, tights, and it's just falling, sliding down, then you might need to just keep hold of it, yeah? But another little trick you can do is really focus on pressing your hips forward and pushing the bent knee down and back. Okay, so you can stay there, or you can try slowly bending. And if you fall in that pose, you can just bring the hands on the ground, yeah? But otherwise, hold the hands into prayer and trying to close the gap between your belly and your thigh. And maybe you can feel a really nice stretch. For some of us, maybe not so nice. Maybe just pure pain. Wobbly. Keep it. Really nice stretch into the glutes and into the thigh on the bent leg side. And you're going to slowly make your way back up without falling, ideally. Just on the edge is what we want. And then we're going to bend 3 times. Bend the standing leg. Exhaling as we go down. Inhaling up. So I can feel that this side for me is more wobbly for some reason. Not by a lot, but a little bit. And see if that was the case for you, if one side was so much worse, pause the video, practice that hard side again. Yeah, just to always trying to bring balance into your body. All right, shake out the legs. That was good. All right, we got a few more. So the next one is going to be a variation on Warrior 3. So Warrior 3, full Warrior 3, we usually take the arms up and we charge forward and down. Okay, that's harder than the one I'm going to show you at the moment, where we keep the hands in prayer, hands in front of your chest. So step the right foot forward, keep your back leg straight and locked, and then we go down, lifting the leg and lowering your chest down. So you want your upper body and your back leg to be in line and parallel to the floor. And the foot on the standing leg is going to be moving a lot, is going to be adjusting a lot. That's what you want. Which is why these poses are really good for the knees, because you're constantly adjusting, yeah? The knee, the tendon falling in, falling out, and so you're actually working the tendons all the way into the knees and all the way into the hip. Let's try the second side. Step the left foot forward, keep your right leg locked, toes back, and we go down. And you're trying to have your hips leveled, which is hard to tell when you're on your own and no one's watching you. So you can do it in front of a mirror, you can do it with your phone recording you. Or if you come see me in class, I'll adjust you, because some of us have one hip lower or higher, so it's hard to tell. Hold it. Shoulders relaxed. Standing leg is straight, but try not to lock the knee. And slowly back. Okay, so what should happen? Another thing to look for is that glute is going to be on fire. Yeah, if you were holding the pose without falling on the standing leg, that glute should be on fire. Yeah, that's a good thing. Okay, so a little bit more challenging, because this time, if you've never done it, if you've done this pose before, it might be very familiar to you. But if it is very challenging, I recommend to find a wall and to do it 1 foot away from the wall. We're going to do half moon, okay, where I'm going to do it on my right leg first. So I'm going to bring my right hand down. So as soon as I go down, my back leg lifts up. My back leg is locked. And I bring my hand in front of my foot, but a little bit off to the side. Now again here, if you have a block and the leg is a bit stiff, use a block on the floor. And you can choose the setting on the block. But otherwise, hand on the floor. And then what you're looking for here is to stack the hips. So that left hip, trying to lift it up, open the hips. So the left hip is stacked up on top of the right. And then once you get the balance, you can take your left arm up. Your arms are in one straight line. If you get the balance, you're going to try to slowly look up to the ceiling and look at your left hand. And slowly back. Okay, so everything we did, if it was way too challenging, do it against the wall. Do it against the wall so you get familiar with how your body is supposed to feel in that different space where your head is down and you're a little bit sideways. And so you can use the wall as support. If you fall, you just lean against the wall. But if you can, trying to come off the wall and trying to balance without using the wall. And that will be a good stepping stone for you. Let's try the second side. Left foot forward. Back leg locked slowly. So don't do this. I see students do this all the time. They go down, bring the hand down, and then lift the leg. That's way harder. Yeah. Keep upper body and back leg. They move at the same time. As my chest goes down, my back leg goes up. Counterweight. Okay. Now my right hip is what I want to lift up and open. And then once I get the balance right, take the arm up. Really good for the knees again, really good for the hips. If I want extra challenge, I start to look off to the side, look up to the ceiling, look up at my right hand, which really makes the balance extra challenging. But as you know, we like a good challenge here. Okay, slowly come back. The trick with your look, with your gaze, is to move it slowly. If you go from looking to the floor and then go bang looking up, most likely you'll fall, except if you're very experienced. The trick is to slowly change where you look. Little changes, and then your body adapts. Yeah? All right, shake out the legs. We're almost done. We got one more. The next one, we're gonna grab our big toe on the right leg and trying to straighten the leg up. Now, if the leg is not fully straight, that's fine. If you're really wobbly, stand next to the wall. Hold the chair, hold the wall. But if you can, stay there, balancing, hand on the hip. Okay, if you want extra challenge, you're gonna bring the hand around. So your left hand's gonna grab the inside of your right thigh and hold this, but trying to keep your chest facing forward. And then if you want extra challenge, you're gonna try to bend the standing leg as you breathe out, and then come back up as you breathe in. Exhale down, inhale up, down, and up. 2 more. Drop, and lift, and drop, and lift, and let it go. Shake it out. Yeah, it's better to do it and use the wall and to actually stay in the pose than to want to skip steps and fall every 2 seconds, yeah? Use props, use the wall, use the chair. And once you get comfortable, your ankles actually get stronger, yeah? So if your ankles are weak, it's gonna be physically really hard, because as I'm falling to that side, my ankle is pulling me back, yeah? So the ankle strength is developing as you practice these poses. Okay, left leg straight, hand on the hip, stay there, or go around. Grab the inside of your left thigh with your right hand. And then if you want the extra challenge, try and go down and up. Exhale down. Inhale up, down, up, and 2 more. Drop. 1 more. And up. And let it go. Shake it out. And we're done for today, guys. Thank you so much. So hopefully all these poses, tackling your sense of balance from different angles, from different positions, will help you. And will help you. You should leave this class feeling more grounded and feeling like you're more into your body. I can feel my ankles are really warm. I can feel my hips are really warm. I can feel that I'm grounded. My mind is in my feet. I can feel the pressure of my feet into the floor and how my weight is distributed. All these little things, they're subtle details, but they matter a lot. They're just significant, and they show you're in your body and you're grounded, and that's what we want, yeah? I hope you enjoyed. Please leave a like, subscribe, and share with other people that might benefit this kind of content. Have a beautiful day, and I'll see you soon. Bye.